Hey everyone, and welcome back to a brand new One and Done. Today we're going to be taking a look at Planet Zoo. I love this game. I haven't played it in forever. I've been meaning to get back into it, and it seems like every time I do, new games come out, and they just take up my time. So I'm glad to be jumping back into it with you guys, give you guys a little taste of what the game is like. First of all, this soundtrack, this is solid stuff. This is cool. So let us jump into, you know what, let's start new. And let's start with one that I've done before so I can kind of go over some things with you. I'm going to be kind of relearning it as well. It's been quite a long time since I played this, and I may be a little rusty. So let's go with the Goodwin House. Start new. Ooh, difficulty. Medium, easy. Yeah, we'll do medium. We'll go from there and see how it is. But yeah, I grew up playing games like Zoo Tycoon and, what was that, Marine Mania, Dinosaur Digs, and then they had SeaWorld Tycoon. I love those games. Absolutely. They were so much fun growing up. But obviously you can't play those games so much anymore today, which is really unfortunate. I kind of wish Microsoft would come out with those games again, like they did with Roller Coaster Tycoon, which is also available right now on Steam. But I digress. This one definitely takes a while to load. There you go.
Heyo at Hematu. Yeah. Oh, sorry about that. I have a habit of slipping back into the Planko language. It's good to finally meet you in person. I'm Bernard, although I insist you call me Bernie. The only person who calls me Bernard is my wife. And even then, only when I've tracked elephant dung into the carpets.
This is a beautiful game.
As you know, I own several zoos, but I always like to show people the ropes here at my home. This is the first zoo I ever opened, and a source of great pride for me. And prides, thanks to a lion breeding program we ran in the 80s. But we're in the middle of a big renovation, and that's where you come in. Sadly, our old contractor had to retire after developing a fur allergy. Poor devil kept sneezing his dentures into the lion habitat. So, it's up to you to finish everything off. Don't worry, though. I'm not completely throwing you in at the deep end. My head keeper, Nancy Jones, will be lending and helping.
There's a lot of people glitching into each other.
She's a hard worker, and she'll expect you to be, too. But I'm sure you'll get along like a house on fire, or even better, one that isn't on fire. Less shouting that way.
Hello there. From that rosy, fresh face of yours, I'm guessing you're Bernie's new hire.
Oh, she's nice.
Good. Now, I hope you're ready to ditch your diploma because we're about to get really
hands-on. Okay.
But before we begin the real work, how about we familiarize you with the zoo by learning how to fly around it and visiting some of our beautiful animals. We'll start by popping over and having a look-see at the grizzly bears in their habitat.
Okay.
Did you know that grizzly bears, also known as Ursus arctos horribilis, can hibernate for up to 7 months a year?
That's a long time you could take a nap.
But then again, given the chance, I think a lot of people would do that too.
Okay.
Select one of the bears and you'll bring up its information panel.
Oh, okay. He's 7.2 years old.
This is where you can find out all kinds of information about your animal. The most important thing being its overall welfare.
Oh, there's a lot of things in here.
You'll learn more about animal welfare today as we go through your objectives. But for now, let's enjoy this magnificent animal. Why don't you select the camera at the bottom of its information panel?
Oh. Can I zoom around? I can. Look at
now,
him.
This is a fantastic way to get a close look at your animals. You can also get this view of an animal by simply double-clicking on it.
Nifty.
Okay, when you're ready, let's pop over to the other side of the zoo and take a look at the lions. I've marked their
that
location
is so
for you
neat.
to find.
How do I put this up again? Wait, oh, wait. Okay. Gotta get used to the camera. It's a little finicky. Alright, so where do I have to go now? Over here.
Panthera leo leo. All the West African lion to you and me. Lions are the most social of the big cats, and there can be as many as 40 lions in a pride, although prides of that size are pretty rare. As Bernie would say, those lions are awesome, which is precisely why I handle the training instead these days. Anyway, how about we get started on those objectives? Come on, let's head over to an empty habitat and see what needs doing there.
Oh, okay. Locate an empty habitat. Over there. Okay.
As you can see, it's a lovely
I wonder what we're
space
going to be
for
putting in
animals,
here.
but it's missing a certain something. Well,
Warthogs.
two somethings. Warthogs. So I'd like you to adopt a pair of them. To adopt animals, we need to open the animal market, which is in the animal trading
Okay,
section.
open that up.
There we are, a pair of perfectly splendid warthogs for our zoo. Just click on them and select Adopt from the side
One's a
menu.
one's a female,
Normally
one's a
the animal
male. So
exchange would be full of animals, but
adopt.
I've emptied out the market while you learn how it works. The
Adopt.
last thing I need is you accidentally ordering a dozen elephants.
okay.
When you adopt an animal,
Placed in
it's
this animal
automatically
storage.
placed in the trade center, where they're held until you're ready to move them into their habitat, which, as it happens, you are.
Oh,
So how about you move them into their new home?
send to zoo. Can I just put them in here? Anywhere? Oh, I can. Okay. And this one? Send to zoo.
When you ask for an animal to be moved into a habitat, your caretakers will go to the trade center, collect your animal, and deliver them to your selected
Interesting, okay.
habitat. I've marked the trade center's location, so let's go and watch the caretakers in action.
Where am I looking here? There it is. Really gotta get used to that camera.
Well, as you can see, those caretakers don't hang about. They'll move those animals to their destination as fast as possible. Of course, normally we'd have to place the animals into quarantine before moving them into a habitat, but I am assured by a person of good standing that these warthogs are in the very rudest of health. Right, let's get the warthog's habitat finished up so we can keep them
okay.
nice and happy. You see, each animal in the zoo has an overall welfare statistic, basically how happy they are. And that overall welfare statistic is itself comprised of 4 different areas: nutrition, social health, habitat, and
Okay, cool.
enrichment.
They both are at the
if you
zoo.
select an animal, you'll bring up their animal welfare information panel, which we saw earlier,
enrichment
where you
seems
can
to be
see how
down.
they're doing. That way,
So,
you'll know exactly what areas need to be
habitat?
addressed. Don't worry if that's a lot to remember. You can always check the Zoopedia for more information.
Zoopedia. Enrichment items.
Let's start by making sure we're taking care of the warthog's nutrition welfare. To do this, we'll need to place a food station and a drinking station. Now,
Facility?
each
No.
animal requires a different type of feeding station. And for the warthogs, it's a small feeding trough. So let's add one of those and a water bowl.
So, habitat. Food. But I can't just... Wait. I thought that's where I went, was right in here with nourishment. Oh, okay. So let's put in one of these. And then one of these.
Animals also require stimulation to keep them happy. Let's add a lovely mud bath for the warthogs to
mud bath.
roll around in. That bath will count towards their enrichment welfare,
Or is a mud
specifically
bath?
their toy enrichment welfare.
Oh, part of the toys. Okay. That's a big mud bath.
Oh, nice work. You've got a knack for this, I see. Now, Our contractor had to leave in a hurry, so this place is in a pharaoh state. Unfinished thingamajigs and whatsits all over the shop. But the first thing we need to finish is the ostrich habitat. It's over near the hippos.
Ostrich. Oh, got it. Ew. Yeah, it's not finished at all.
Oh, before we actually start building our ostrich habitat, let's pause the game. Just click the pause button in the bottom
right corner. Pause.
Ah, that's more like it. A quick break. Sometimes
Barriers.
it's a good idea to pause the game whilst you're doing something which requires your concentration, because it'll stop the zoo spinning out of control while you're looking the other way. Let's keep the game paused while we get this ostrich habitat built.
This is so thorough.
Okay. Job number 1 here is to add a habitat gate before we complete the barrier. Every habitat needs a habitat gate. After all, how else would the keepers get in and out? Just make sure it's hooked up to the path so the keepers can reach it.
So... Oh, it's not really... Oh, that's weird. It's not really locked to a coordinate. It's just all willy-nilly. Okay, so... Gate.
Right. Let's complete the perimeter barrier so we can adopt us some ostriches. I've marked out an area for you to use, so I'd like you to finish off the perimeter using the brick barrier.
Can we make it a little shorter? Yeah, we'll just follow this. If you go too far off kilter, it... Oh, no, just in that one direction. Okay.
Good work. Remember, before you can place animals in any habitat, it has to have a full loop of connected barrier. Now, you've probably noticed that guests can't actually see into this habitat at the moment. At least not without a stepladder. But seeing as they're banned, I'd like you to select a piece of barrier and swap out the brick for a glass barrier, so the guests can see in.
How do we do that? So if I select this... You can select... Oh, okay. Oh, you can... Nice.
There we go. Adding in more windows gives guests even more
But
opportunities
I could see
to
that
see the animals
being
in a
a
habitat.
issue with the
It's
animal.
always best to make sure the guests can get a good view into a habitat from
If
the
you do too
path
much.
they're walking on, because it makes them happy, and because this would be a pretty terrible zoo if they couldn't. The last thing we need to do is to add a donation box. You see, when guests enjoy the view of an animal, they'll make a donation. Just make sure you put them in easy-to-reach places, like near a viewing point. Donation boxes are one of the main sources of income for the zoo, so make sure you
Donation
remember them.
box. So where do you put them? Oh, like right here.
Now, before we adopt our ostriches, you should click the play button. After all, if the game's paused, then so are our caretakers, which will make it a bit tricky for them to deliver
Okay,
the
so
ostriches.
we got
eh?
that. Let's go to the animals.
By the way, as well as pausing the game, you can speed the game up by clicking on the fast forward button. It'll run everything at 2 times and 5 times faster. It can be useful,
Animal
especially if you're
market.
waiting for money to accumulate or for animals to be delivered to your habitat. Personally, I use it when I'm waiting for a brew to finish. All right, you've finished the habitat, so it's high time we adopted those ostriches, don't you think? Let's get 4 of
Oh,
them
all
in here.
4. Okay. Okay, so then they go into the holding area, or the storage. Send to zoo. Where's the other one? Okay. Wait until it pops up here.
While we wait for them to be collected by the caretakers and brought to the habitat, you should get it ready for them. Add a suitable feeding station, water station, and an appropriate food enrichment item.
Okay.
It's often best to place things like enrichments and feeding stations near to the habitat perimeter, so guests can get a really good view of the animals.
Okay, I just want one to click on real quick. It's a big box. Okay, so enrichment. Let's see what we got here for habitat. A slow feeder. We'll put a couple of them in there. Wait, so slow feeder, food bowl large. Ooh, water trough. Can we rotate? Put that there. Actually, I kind of want to put these here and move this. Can I move it? Yes. Put the slow feeder down here. And then up here, let's put the actual... Where is it? Okay, habitat. Alright, we got a bronze.
Oh, good to see the ostriches have somewhere they can really stretch their legs. Did you know they can actually run at 43 miles per hour? Oh, heaven forbid they ever escape. The speed camera fines alone would bankrupt us.
I'd like to put one more down, but... Okay.
Well, Bernie certainly seems impressed. Did he do his speed camera joke? Every time we get an ostrich. So, now we've made the ostriches' lives a bit better, let's do the same for the keepers, shall we?
Build a keeper
To make it
hut.
easier for the keepers to feed the ostriches and hippos, we should build a new keeper hut. Keeper huts are where the keepers prepare the food for animals, so they should be placed near to the habitats
Facility.
to make sure the keepers don't waste their time walking when they should be looking after the animals.
It's just a little bit more expensive. Let's get one that blends in.
You'll need to rotate the keeper hut to get it to connect up to the path.
Oh, wait, what? Rotate Z. Oh, interesting. Okay. Oh, that is cool. Interesting. Could have it going way off like that, but I think I'd just rather have it going straight in. There we go. Alright, place a keeper hut. I did.
This keeper hut only has space for one keeper, but the larger keeper hut can allow multiple keepers to prepare food at the same time. Oh, but bear in mind that keeper huts and other staff facilities shouldn't be placed near to areas where there are lots of guests. Guests don't like seeing facility buildings, and it can affect
Well,
their
that's understandable.
happiness. Negatively. In case that wasn't clear. Something that all facilities, shops, and a whole host of other objects need is power. And that obviously includes
Place a
your newly
transformer.
built keeper hut. So let's place a transformer next to it, shall we?
Z again? Okay.
Now, the reason everything has gone blue is because you're using the power heat map. This map allows you to see what is and what isn't powered in your zoo. So, once you've placed your transformer, you can click in the bottom left to turn the heat map off.
Okay, bottom left. Ew.
Lovely work.
Okay.
Now the keepers can start using the hut to prepare food, and thanks to where you've put it, they won't need to walk very far to deliver it to the ostriches and hippos. Let's get on to your next objective then. Bengal tigers. We want to adopt some, but I'm afraid there's nothing ready for them yet. Head on over to the plot of land I've marked out. It's not too far away.
Oh boy. Okay.
Righty, your next job is to build a habitat. from
I think if it
scratch.
continues at this rate, we may
Concrete
only
and
have enough
glass, I
time to get
expect.
the
So,
silver.
go ahead and build it. Just make sure
Gold
the
might take a
habitat
little
includes
longer.
that big hole we've dug. Oh, and don't forget to add a habitat gate to the barrier.
Alright. Barrier.
Oh, and make sure the guests will be able to see the tigers.
How does everything else look around here? We could do concrete, it would actually match. So we have to do around here too? Or wait, can you... No. Let's just cut it straight across. This soundtrack has got to be the most relaxing thing to play this game to. Oh, okay. Automatically to there. I gotta put another one or something in here? How do I get... Okay. I'm just assuming that having another line in here means that I make another one. That can't be right though. Maybe it does. Okay. Okay, so we got that. Let's go to... Oh, no, we need to put a thing on it first. Right here.
Now, Bernie takes safety very seriously at his zoos, so we should probably make sure those tigers can't jump out of their habitat, don't you think? The way we'll do it is by changing the height of the habitat's barrier. Okay then, you should start by double-clicking the habitat barrier, which will take you into barrier editing mode.
There.
Great. Now highlight the entire perimeter of the habitat. You can do that by clicking and dragging the barrier selection tool.
There we go. Do one more. Yeah, I think that's good. I may want to do some over here. There we go. Now, that is done. What else do we got to do now? Build or set boundary. Oh, that's right. So, edit barrier. Oh, height. Set boundary to 3.7 meters high. Height. Height mode. Flat top. Oh, 1 point. I think that's good. Oh, 3 point. Set boundary to 3 point. Wait, what did I do? Edit barrier. Window, height labels. Snap to adjacent heights. Height snap. Okay, so that's not what I want. Length 4 meters. Huh. I don't think I'm doing. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, but that's.
Now
Okay.
you've got all of the perimeter selected, you can increase the height of it by clicking and dragging the barrier height tool upwards. You'll want to make sure it reaches a height of at least
There we go.
3.7 meters. Now that the habitat is in place, don't forget to put down a
Donation
donation
boxes.
box near to your viewing areas. We need every dollar we can get. Especially as these tigers aren't exactly eating instant noodles for lunch. Okay, that's the habitat boundary complete, the habitat gate's in place, and most importantly, the tigers won't be able to jump out of it anymore. I think it's time we adopted those
All right.
tigers.
Let's go to the tigers. Get a couple of 8 and 9-year-old tigers in here. Send the zoo. Like $12,000 a piece.
Whilst our trusty caretakers collect and deliver the tigers, let's take a look at preparing the habitat for their arrival. We'll start with the basics. Add a suitable feeding station for them.
Sure. Let's put one right here.
This time, instead of adding a water bowl, let's try something different. Some animals need a pool in their habitat so they can go
A
for a
pool?
swim, but they can also use it to drink from. All you have to do is make sure the banks of the pool have a gentle slope so they can easily get a nice, refreshing drink. There's already a pool excavated,
Oh.
but you still need to fill it with water. You should do that by going into terrain and
How do I
selecting the
delete
water
something?
tool.
Okay, I guess this was not supposed to be here. Can I just delete that? Edit barrier. Select the whole barrier. I need to delete you. Delete? I can't delete it. How is there not a... That's a demolition thing, but I don't think that's gonna do it. I know. I need to run heights, barriers. Why is this not working? Okay, terrain, water.
Yes, that'll do nicely. Of course, just like the warthogs and ostriches, these tigers will also need some enrichment.
I need to get
Why
rid of
don't
that
you
wall
add
though
some
when I
suitable
can.
toy and food enrichment items into their habitat.
They're not counting that in the terrain though, which is really weird. Can we make that one smaller? No, we can't. Okay, so add a feeding station, which we already did. Let's go to the toy. Frozen pumpkin. And a rubbing pad.
Okay, it's really starting to take shape. Now, the tigers will need a shelter in their habitat so they can hide from the guests, or more likely the bad weather. Although given that we're in England, you might want to think of that just as normal weather. Go on, add a shelter to their habitat. You can either build one from various suitable bits and bobs, or if you like, just pop down the blueprint that I've already built for you.
There we go. That's a little off.
Oh, poor Dabs. I'm sure it can't have escaped your attention that the tigers look a bit miffed. That's because they aren't too keen on the type of terrain in their habitat. Select a tiger and bring up its information panel.
Where's the tiger? I need to get out of here. There we go.
Rightio. Click on the terrain tab. That way you can view the terrain information and see how they feel about the different
top,
types of terrain.
environment,
That'll tell you what the
enrichment,
tigers need more of or less of in
stud
this
book?
habitat.
Social and genetics. Okay. So,
Okay then, open the terrain editing tool, select painting, and give them some more soil. Yes, that should help with the habitat part of their welfare.
it needs more grass long. And where would we? Nope, grass short. Oh, it's gotta be within that range. I don't know where the grass is though. That's considered too long. Grass long. Oh, soil. Soil. Should I do soil light? Maybe heavy. Oh, size. There we go. Okay, that's good. Perfect.
They say the good fences make
This
good
is
neighbors.
a very
I guess that's
in-depth
doubly
game,
true when
and
one of the neighbors is
sorry
a
for not talking
Bengal
as much. I'm
tiger.
definitely trying to let them do a lot of the talking
Still,
and explaining.
Those tigers look so happy that I doubt they'd leave, even if you did poke a hole in their fence. Oh, but for heaven's sake, don't test that theory.
All right, so that is going to do it for this episode of...
Right, let's head over to the
No.
Indian peafowls. I've been told that we need to improve their social welfare.
Okay, we'll get to that in a second. But I am going to call it there for today. This was a really fun episode to do. Like I said, I had an itch to play Zoo Tycoon, and since we can't really play that, this is the next best thing. Actually, it's probably better than Zoo Tycoon with everything that you have in it. It also has a ton of DLC that there's so much of it. I took a look at all the DLC beforehand, and you can easily blow a lot of money in this game with all the DLC that it has for it. So this game is stacked. It's got plenty to do. It's a never-ending thing. So if you get a chance, definitely check it out. I don't know if it's on consoles. It may be, but I know for sure it's on Steam. So don't quote me on the console part, but it is on Steam, and it's a very good game, so I highly recommend it. But that'll do it for this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it as well, and I will see you all in the next episode. Take care, and peace out.